He is the general manager of the Chicago Bears, kind enough to zoom in from the NFL owners meeting where it's all going down in Orlando, Florida. His name is Ryan Poles. Good to see you back here, Ryan. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Good to see you too.
Anything going on with you? Can't tell.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just life is just you're making lemonade right now. There's a lot going on in Chicagoland. Right?
Yes. We're excited though.
Okay,
coming together.
As I'm sure you are. Okay, so let's just go, I guess, piece by piece here, and the idea of what to do with Justin Fields. Walk me through your process and mindset on that, Ryan.
Yeah, just we spent the last few years evaluating, and then as you know, with contracts, you come to the end of that rookie contract, and you got to make some decisions. And for us, to continue to build the way that we are, we felt like it was the right move to go a different direction and use the draft. We're super fortunate for the draft to kind of play out the way that it did with that trade from last year. And it gives us an opportunity to keep building and bring a young quarterback in. What makes it difficult is just, to trade a guy like Justin Fields is a very tough decision for what he stands for. Unbelievable kid, hard worker, smart. But again, you just kind of run out of that runway on a contract, and we decided to go a different direction.
Is it fair to say the reason why this happened this year as opposed to last is because the quarterback class in this year's draft is stronger than last year's?
I would say at the time it was more of we wanted to continue to build around Justin and give him more weapons to really showcase what he has. We had the opportunity to get DJ Moore. Cole Kmet was continuing to ascend. So really wanted to see what that looked like. We got O-line help and really take the next step in evaluating because you want to be sure in that sense. So we really wanted to continue to build with Justin and see how it goes. And
now this time around, what was your evaluation of the way he finished or anything like that then to come to the conclusion it was time to try the draft?
Yeah, he was making progress. Obviously, he's so explosive and dynamic as a runner. And even in the past game, he was starting to make, improvements. But then that's when you kind of look into the draft and see what's there. And is that better for our organization? And obviously, we made that call.
And then the trade market for him, what were you surprised at how limited it turned out to be?
Yeah, I was a little surprised. But when we look back at it, you just have a pool of players that are pool of teams that are looking at the draft to go there for probably the same reasons. And then on the back half of the draft, you have teams that are in a good situation and they have young talent or veteran quarterbacks that are already paid. So really, it was a small group. Was surprised by that. But and I talked about it in Combine. I'm happy with the place that we were able to get Justin because I know from there he can continue to grow and have an opportunity to get on the field and play. What
are you willing to share about Justin wanting to go to Pittsburgh and you sending him to a spot where he preferred? What are you willing to share about that conversation you had with him and how it wound up with him going to Pittsburgh, Ryan?
Well, I think we were just transparent with each other from the very beginning, and he knew. And it's important for me to do that too, is put guys in a good situation. So I think there was some trust there, and we were aligned with that, and we made that decision. So
Ryan Poles here on the Rich Eisen Show, Bears general manager. So let's move on to who you might be eyeing in the draft, and you just saw Caleb Williams throw up close and personal at his pro day. What did you see out of him, Ryan?
Yeah, the throwing part, just confirmation of what you see on tape. There's special talent there, just to have touch, but also to have power with his arm, accuracy, footwork, good base. So I thought he did a really good job.
And what did you learn? Did you learn anything more about him?
The one thing that stood out was just talking to his teammates. Really good teammate. His guys love him. They speak very highly of them. There's a level of trust. And I love quarterbacks that can bring people together, and he did that. And so that makes me feel really good about that situation.
What was your connection with him at the Combine? You just had the 15 minutes with him, or what was your Combine connection with Caleb?
Yeah, it was 15 minutes, real brief, just a touch point. Again, just how do you present yourself in front of the room? How do you present yourself in front of the media? We do a little bit of tape work just to go over some recall and also just explain the good and the bad. So that process was good. Obviously, really intelligent guy, but also, some ownership of where he needs to continue to grow.
Ryan Poles here on the Rich Eisen Show. And so, you were hired from the Chiefs organization. You oversaw all aspects of college scouting across the country for the Chiefs at the time when Mahomes got drafted by the Chiefs. And I'm not telling any tales out of school. A lot of folks are comping Caleb with Mahomes. Do you see the comp, Ryan?
Yeah, there's parts of it. Creativity, different arm angles, big arm. That part's there for sure. And that gets you excited, right? Like you're never out of a game. We've watched, Pat do that at a high level, and also make other people, really good around you. So there are some similarities there. There's some similarities with a lot of quarterbacks that you see with Caleb. Really unique skill set, on top of, being very mobile. And I think no one really talks about that part of his game. He can run. He's very athletic, change direction, make people miss. You don't want your guy doing that too much, but you have that in the toolbox, and that's always effective.
And is it true you guys had dinner? You all had dinner the Monday night before or the night before his pro day, Ryan?
Yeah. Yep. Had a meal with the staff and some of his teammates. Again, another touch point. Really, a lot of the conversation wasn't even about football. It's just about his life, how he grew up, what are his hobbies and things that he's interested in. That's all important. And I think we do a good job in Chicago. It's more than just a football player. We're investing in the entire person. Mind, body, and spirit is kind of our focal point, especially in this offseason. So we want to know everything about the guy and what he stands for and what are his goals, but what's important to him too.
Did anybody from another table walk up during the dinner and ask if that was a movie star instead of Caleb Williams? Ryan, did anybody?
No.
Nobody did that?
No, that didn't happen.
Okay.
But it has before.
It has happened before. Do you want to, because my guys here don't believe this story, Ryan, from the Combine. They don't believe it.
Absolutely not.
And I'm wondering if you might take a second out of our football talk and roster talk about this, Ryan?
Yeah, so it was unbelievable. We're sitting there having dinner at the Combine, and this gentleman comes up from kind of left field here and says, "Is that Rich Eisen or Ryan Gosling?"
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone's head like snapped, and we thought like it was gonna be someone we knew and was joking. The guy was dead serious, and then walked away.
What would you estimate the number of beverages this person had consumed before making such inquiry? Ryan?
There was actually the table that it came from. There was probably 5-6 bottles of
wine.
There we go.
Come on.
Ask the right question.
Come on.
And you'll get
Excuse
the
me,
answer.
Ryan. That guy, when he left the table, leaving us all to look at each other like, did that just happen, to see if we were punked? I think he could. I think he walked a straight line. I think he walked a straight line, sober as a judge. There it is.
Can you do the alphabet backwards?
Right. Very good. Okay. Very good. So, just wondering if it was a you thing or is it a me thing? I just didn't know.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. See, everybody can now back off. Now let me go back to Ryan Poles, general manager of the Chicago Bears. When did Keenan Allen show up on your radar screen, Ryan?
Yeah, that was a little bit out of nowhere. When the league year was opening up, that had popped up, and a little bit of a surprise. We did watch him. We're always kind of tracking what different teams might do based on their cap situation and new regimes. So we were at least prepared for it. And Keenan's playing at a high level. And especially from my time in Kansas City, I've seen him go to work for years, on our defense. And it's someone that you need to focus on to stop him and slow down that offense. But I've said this before, I don't think there's a better receiver in the league that can help elevate a young quarterback just because of his knowledge of the game and how much he knows, how instinctive he is. So I'm really looking forward to having Keenan on the squad.
Did you know he was showing up to the pro day in his Bears gear?
He knew about it, and he said he was going to be there. I didn't think he was going to show up, and he did in all Bears gear. I thought that was really cool, and it speaks volumes on what he stands for as as a football player. Like, he's passionate about it, and he wants to be a part of every step of the process.
Because a Cal Bear showing up to USC Pro Day is a big ask. That's a huge ask, Ryan. You know, so I just want to make sure you're aware of that. And so, because it just does seem that with what you've done on the defensive side and what you've done on the offensive side of the ball, it's set up for a rookie quarterback to succeed. And I'm wondering if that has been part of your design for the last several weeks, even prior to trading away Justin Fields, Ryan.
Yeah, we and again, I tap into my background just in Kansas City. And see how we were built and the things that we did. Also studying other teams that are successful with young quarterbacks or really any developing quarterback. And you got to have pieces around them. You got to have a defense that can bail you out some of those bad games, those tough games. And you got to have the offensive guys to make you right when you're wrong. So that's important. And I love how this is all coming together.
So in the few minutes I have left with you, Ryan Poles here on the Rich Eisen Show, you're going to have Caleb in for a top 30? That's coming?
Yeah, we kick off our top 30s in the first week of April, and he'll be a part of that.
Okay. Do you have a date that you're willing to pop out here? When's he coming back?
I'm not going to throw the date out there, but yeah, early in the week.
Oh, okay. He'll be early in the week,
Yep.
so Caleb will be there. What about the other quarterbacks? You're going to have them in too?
Yeah, we're going to have a few quarterbacks in as well. Yep.
Okay. So the fact that we're all assuming Caleb, is that a safe assumption that you're willing to pop out there?
Yeah, we're not going to go there yet.
Okay, we're not going to go there yet. Okay, very good. What's your plan for the 9th overall selection?
Yeah, I think that's an intriguing one. And when we get back, we're going to go to LSU tomorrow and then head back to Chicago. We're really going to get this board, cleaned up. There's some things we got to do, but that's the intriguing part is looking at 9 and what's going to be there, and then how do we sequence those players in different positions in terms of who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to we'll do it all the way down to 300. So that's going to be really interesting, but it's exciting because there's a lot of really good players that I know are going to be in that range, which is going to help us get better.
Well, and that the fact that you're sitting there at 9, and then we'll suss the board out, obviously, just like everybody else when it comes time on draft night. That's the setup for this question as well. I think it would obviously be a benefit for you if 3 more quarterbacks went off the board after your pick to try and, obviously widen out the field of possibles for you to take at 9. Do you think that's possible based on your ear to the ground and talking to everybody? Do you think it's possible we see a draft with 4 straight quarterbacks go, Ryan Poles?
I do. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me. So we'll be ready for it.
Okay, and is that a combination of teams that need it, or is this just that deep a quarterback class in your estimation, Ryan?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay. And then for you as well, 2 more for you. Folks are going to be knocking on your door for Hard Knocks. Is that possible, or are they already knocking on your door? Or are they already hard knocking for you?
I have not heard of that.
Okay. You have any thoughts on that subject matter?
I would like to avoid it, but I get it.
Okay. Good to know on that front. I love your honesty. Greatly appreciate that. And what do you think? What do you say finally to Bears fans who love Justin Fields, head over heels about him, and are wondering if you made the right decision here? What do you say to these Bears fans? Certainly with the compensation you got back from Pittsburgh for him. What do you say to those Bears fans, Ryan Poles?
Yeah, it's the same thing I told my son, who's probably one of his biggest fans, that, I think this is the best thing for this organization, especially to take it to the next level. And with the young quarterback that comes in, they're going to be set up to have success. And I don't think that's always the case. But in order for us to go where we need to go, which is to be a championship caliber team, we just believe that this was the right thing to do, but completely understand because Justin's an unbelievable kid. He's dynamic as a football player. So it's one of those really hard decisions that when you sit in this seat, you got to make. Again, you just got to be right? And it can happen.
How old's your son?
He's 10, turning 11. He's a draft baby.
Okay. He's a
Yeah. I slept in the hospital.
Is that right? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on. How do you take that response on fields? How'd your son take it?
Yeah, it wasn't great at first, but over time, he starts to. I think he's got some trust in me too.
Okay, there you go. Trust the process and dad. Ryan, it's good to see you again. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're being asked all these questions and pulled in a million different directions. I appreciate you saying yes to this one. Thanks.
Absolutely. It was good to see you.
Right back at you again. That's Ryan Poles, the other Ryan, as I like to refer to him, right here on this edition of The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.